everybody on YouTube? It's your boy, the Memphis Accelerate, back at you with the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! We're aiming to duel 100 different decks over 100 different days. Today, everybody, we're taking a look at some Tenyis, the worm monsters that go into big old Linky monsters and do stuff from the grave, and combining them with them today, we're taking a look at Swordsoul. That's right, we're going a little bit serious mode today. We got a pretty powerful synergy here with the Swordsouls, which are all about Synchro summoning, and the Tenyis, which, like I said, are about links and using effects from the grave. And they all synergize together because they're all worms, and their support cards and their effects work with just any old worm. So we're going to go into Yugioh Pro today. We're going to show this deck off, show you how it works, and have ourselves a good old fun time. So, real quick, our shout out of the day to Mr. Demetrio Gutierrez Espinoza, who asked us to take a look at some Tenyis, and we're going to go some serious Tenyi Swordsoul action. So, let's go into Yugioh Pro today, show this deck off, show you how it works. Real quick, our list, so y'all know what we're using, and then get right into the duels. So for our main deck today, we're playing one Mare Mare, 3 copies of Tenyi Ashuna, 2 Tenyi Vishuddha, 3 copies of Swordsoul Long Yuan, we have 2 copies of Swordsoul Taya, we have 3 copies of Swordsoul Moye, 3 copies of Incredible Ecclesia, the oh so incredible, 1 Tenyi Nahada, 2 Tenyi Safana, 2 copies of Tenyi Adhara, we have Harpy's Feather Duster, we have Pot of Desires, we have triple Swordsoul Emergence, triple Vessel of the Dragon Cycle, 1 Call by Grave, because we like to search, triple Forbidden Droplets, triple Imperm, and triple Swordsoul Blackout. As for the extra deck, we have a couple copies of the Monk of Tenyi, 1 Shaman of the Tenyi, 1 Berserker of the Tenyi, 1 Tenyi Spirit Sahasrasawasa, we have 1 Yahtzee, the Evil of the Yangzin, 1 Boxy, the Brightness of the Yangzin, we got 2 copies of Swordsoul Grandmaster Shishao, we have 1 copy of Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, we have Adamancipator Dragite, we have ourselves Virtual World QB Shenshen. We have our Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign, the King Xing Longyuan, which is more or less the boss of the Swordsouls. We have ourselves Baron de Fleur for negating and such. And we've got Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Shang Yin, which is also a pretty big dude. As for the side deck, I didn't think of one today. No side deck today. Regardless of no side deck, there's the deck we'll be using today. Let's now go off into Yugioh Pro, show this deck off, show you how it works, and we'll have ourselves a good time. Alright, yeah, our first opponent, another day, another card game. We like to go first with our deck. We can go second. Depends on what we get. Alrighty, what do we have here? Well, that'll work. That ought to be just fine. We're going to summon out Adhara. How the Tenyis work, you have no monsters of effect value. You can summon them from your hand. What we're going to now do is, let's see, yeah, that'll work just fine. We're going to go ahead, link off Monk of the Tenyi, our Link 1 monster. He is a normie monster, as you can see. And we're going to go for Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. I can tribute her off and get myself any of my Swordsoul monsters. I'll thought Mare Mare. I think I'll use Mare Mare later, though. I could use him now, but later will work just as well. So we're going to go ahead and get the Swordsoul of Moye here. Hacha. This is one of our most important tuners. When he is self-summoned, normally or specially, all I have to do is show him I have this worm. It can be any worm or any Swordsoul. I get a tuner. Nice thing about Swordsouls, normally you have to include your own tuners and non-tuners. Swordsoul, they're both. So, now we're going to go for Shishao here. He's our level 8. Be like, hello, here I am. This is our Searcher. He adds me any Swordsoul monster. As well, Moye draws us a card. So just nice little 1-2 punch there. Hey, Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. Very nice. This is just send a worm. If I have a non-effect monster, I can then add a worm. So, let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, consistency out the wazoo. So we're going to send to the grave Safana here. And I will add to my hand whoever I dang will choose. I have many options. I'm going to go ahead and get... We'll go ahead and get Vishuddha? So many options. Let's get Vishuddha for now. We'll get this guy in the graveyard. That way I can bounce stuff. So now what we're going to go ahead and do, Long Juan, we're going to discard a worm monster to summon him. And he gets us, you guessed it, a tuner token. 1 tuner token, please. Hold the mayonnaise. And so now that I've done all this, I've got a monster effect negate. Let me think about this. And I got Forbidden Droplet for more monster effects negates. So I can go for many a thing. It's always the tricky part with this game. There's so many things you can make. And I don't know what my opponent's playing. So let me think. Let's go Clean Long Wawa. We'll go Wawa, man. This guy's name is Wawa, by the way. So, when our Long Juan goes to the grave, he will inflict damage. Emotional damage. And so we have this guy. The Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign. If my opponent special summons a monster, we'll end our turn here. I can banish it and inflict 1200. If my opponent plays a spell trap, I can banish it, inflict 1200. So basically, the first two, whatever's my opponent will do, I can just do lots of damage. Alright, so we're up against the Dick Heroes. Okay, that's... I don't need to negate that. Or I don't need to banish it. I'd rather banish something that, like, has some permanence to it. That's the thing about Long Juan. Because I could banish the Destiny Draw. It won't really affect him that much. I'd rather hit, like, I don't know, a continuous spell or something. Alright, so now what we're going to go ahead and do here. We'll allow that. The Vion, he's going to send a hero to the grave. I've got a monster effect negate by banishing any of my monsters. Sadly, I don't have any of the spells in the grave. Because the Swordsoul spells, if they're banished, actually have the effect of raising or lowering a monster's level. Denier. What does this do? Get D hero. Summon it. Okay. That's fine. I'm pretty sure I'm okay. Like, what is he gonna do? He's gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, no. No field spell for you. No field spell for you, young man. He could have added a poly with that. That could have been dangerous. Giving heroes a poly? I mean, they already have Fusion Destiny at 2. What more do they need? They don't need regular poly. No. You're not a pirate. You ain't poly. You don't know no cracker. This guy don't need no crackers. So yes, we're up against the hero deck. He's trying to break through our board, but we're pretty solid. I mean, granted, he already had poly. Thinking. I have the ability to pop 2 of his cards. See, a worm I control. Do I want to use up my Monk of the Tenyi? I better do so. We're gonna go ahead and pop both of his monsters with our Swordsoul Blackout. Essentially, it's just like Icarus attack, but for Wyrms. So, now if he wants to fuse, he's gonna have to use the cards only in his hand. Which could have been his whole plan the whole time, but we don't know that yet. We don't know. What's he gonna make? Oh, look, it's that guy. So let's go ahead and attempt to banish that monster of his. Chaining our Sathana. So I can just bring back my Monk of the Tenyi that got destroyed. He'll use Phoenix Enforcer, of course, but then I can just negate it. So, yeah, Phoenix Enforcer, pretty beefy. But he don't stand a chance against my Synchro boys. Because I can just be like, I banish the trap card to negate you. I don't care how mainstream you are. Get out of my zone. It's my zone now. Destroy a monster? No. We want to banish the monster. And then, Swordsoul Blackout got banished, and I get to change, or I get a token. Yeah, this is the one with the token. The spells increase levels, but this gets me a token. Which is even better if you think about it. Another one. And another one. Okay. This is fine. It's fine. I don't care. Go right ahead. What, do you have another one of these? I would not put it past him to have another one of these. Does he really need another one of these? Apparently so. Alright. Certainly annoying, but not the worst thing, because I still have a druplet. And a fool. See, this is why we run droplet, for things like this. Your effects negate and you take the damage. More of that emotional damage. I can't do the voice. Emotional damage. A little better. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. You know, he's gonna bring back Phoenix Boy, but, you know, I can just banish the darn thing. And even if he tries to pop me, I can just negate him again. So, that's the idea essentially behind this deck. You just kind of go for it, man. Just kind of go for it. Bring out the Synchros. We didn't even go that hard into the Tenyis. But they are here. They are prepared. In fact, before we do much of anything else, we should at least make our Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. He's the Synchro version of the Dracos. No, I don't want to banish myself. Thank you. So, there's a win against the D heroes. We gave him the D real hard and real fast before he even knew we were there. So, there's duel number 1. You get an idea of what we're trying to do. Let's go for duel number 2. Keep showing off what we're trying to do, because there's a lot more things we can do and a lot of more things I'd like to do. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Unfortunately going second this time, but at least the opening hand's not terrible. I mean, I've got my Vessel, the Dragon Cycle. I got Swordsoul Emergence, double Long Lawn, so pretty good in the hand department. You know, I've got Sathana, which is really good in the graveyard if my Normie gets blown up. Good things happen. Let's see. So he's playing P.U.N.K. Ugh, there's an itch. Okay, so we got ourselves up against a P.U.N.K deck. I know how powerful P.U.N.K can be. I've played them before. I know that they have a very nice Auroradon combo. We'll see how it goes. He's going to go for Shirakusai. Woo-ha, Shirakusai. So, yeah, now he's going to do the Fusion Summon. And make the fish. Sadly, I don't have in Perm. It'd be really nice if I had in Perm right now, because, you know, that's why we run in Perm. It's in case we happen to go second. It's just a really good card to have. You know, and Perm is just one of those cards you can really just put into anything, and it's helpful regardless. Whether you're playing a casual deck, a meta deck, a rogue deck, whatever. Impermanence is just a good card. It's a really good card. So what did he summon? Okay, this is the new P.U.N.K. What does this do? Reveal P.U.N.K. Summon this card. If this card sent to a field grave, target a P.U.N.K. in the grave. Set level 5, summon it, cannot special summon Dia Note rest of turn. Okay. So he's going to make... Oh, hey! I got one of those too. Alright, so that makes things a little tricky. I can out that. I can out that. I can already think in my brain how I'm going to out that, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to out that. Okay, so he brings back the fish, but he can Synchro summon on my turn with the Shirakusai. And his deck is all about spell... He's got like a negates and things, so... Little tricky. So here's what we're going to go ahead and do. Special summon Sathana. He might negate this, but I'm rather doubtful of him negating Sathana in the hand. He could. Or it's not so much a negate, he can just banish one of my cards when I activate a monster effect. But thankfully, he's not going to do that. So we should be okay. We'll see. This back row worries me, and he does have the ability to dump Amazing Dragon and bounce stuff. So we'll see. So we're going to activate a Vessel of the Dargon Cycle. I'm going to send a worm, and since I have a normal monster, I can also add a Tenyi monster. So we're going to send Vishuda to the grave, and add Ashuna to the hand. That's all step 1. Yeah, so what we're going to do here, use Vishuda, bounce of the Draco Berserker. I can do this because I have a Normie monster. So now, we'll go ahead for Ashuna. And get rid of Ashuna. I can summon any Tenyi I desire. Could summon another I could summon... Yeah, I get tongue-tied, that's what I can do. I could summon another Vishuda, but that's a once per turn thing. I could also get Adhara to get back my Ashuna. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and send Adhara to the grave. Or rather, summon out Adhara. That way it'll be on the board and I'll get that in the grave later. I was trying to was he send a worm? I didn't get to send no worms. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter too much. Doesn't even matter to me. So let's go for the Shaman of the Tenyi. Just trying to bait out some negates here. It's gonna go for our Shaman. He doesn't even know I'm playing Sword Souls yet. That's the funny thing. He doesn't know. Okay, that'll work. And that works. I haven't even normal summoned yet. So let's go for our Sword Soul Emergence. With the Atom Monster. Gonna add my Moye. Yeah. Moye, 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 Moye. Alright, so Moye will be summoned. And we will see. We're just gonna reveal that we have Sathana here. Still don't need him to know that I have Long Yuan. I don't want him to know. Not yet. Ah, that'll bait out his bouncing of my stuff with the amazing dragon. It's an amazing dragon. Look how amazing. I mean, to be fair, that is some pretty nice artwork. Yeah, he gets to bounce my stuff. Which is sad, but true. And also, it can make 2 attacks during the battle phase this turn. Not next, not next turn, but just this turn. So let's go for Long Yuan. We will ditch our Sathana, because he knows we have it. That way, if I need another Long Yuan later, I'll have it. So we'll just make those, and let's see here. Yeah, let's go for Adhara now. We'll just go ahead and get back Vishuddha for later. You got a whole mess of nuttin', son. And unfortunately, I can only summon worms because of Ashuna. But that's fine. Would be destroyed. Banish a card from the grave. Okay, that'll work just fine. So we're going to summon out our Supreme Sovereign. Who also weakens my opponent's monster. Was it 100 attack and defense for me, 100 attack and defense lost for him, and Long Yuan will do his burn damage. Plus, if I would be destroyed, I can banish a card. If I banish a card, what was it? I can destroy 1 card from my opponent's field and their graveyard. Pretty brutal. So let's beat over the amazing dragon. Okay, that'll negate my effects, but essentially that just means we're going to crash here. Alright, I could summon Vishuddha. Yeah, let's do that. I feel like that's a good idea, just to have something on the board. I don't want to have nothing on the board. I don't want to have nothing. I'd rather have a monk. If you don't mind, I'd like a monk. I'll just have best boy here. And that'll do. You know, my opponent tried to stop me. He had quite the setup. But it weren't no Auroradon combo. So, yeah, that'll just stop him right there. Ooh, Harpy's Feather Duster. I don't trust your set row. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Too smart. Too big brain for you, young man. So that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, I'm just going to show off the last long one I had in my hand. Get my token, unless he's packing gammas. Alright. Well, probably should have expected that, to be honest. Well, I see. Let me think about that. I could just bounce a card, but these are going to get banished anyway. So I'm just going to end my turn and hope for the best. I'm still good. I still have Sathana in the graveyard. Even if he beats over my monk, I'm good. So, let's see. Seimei, get a monster. Witch monster. I presume one of the level 8s. That's just my guess. I could be very wrong. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, yeah, he's gonna get Foxy. Foxy the Silver Fox? I don't know. Foxy was always a weird side character. Kind of interesting, but also just kind of there. Alright, he's actually playing the P.U.N.K spells? Oh, this is the new field spell that's probably broken. Psychic monster pays life to activate effect. Draw a card. Up to twice per turn? It's literally Pot of Greed, but different. So now he is going to go for broke, ladies and gentlemen. He is probably going to end on a Auroradon combo here. That's my guess anyway. That would be my guess. Oh boy. What more? We'll see. I mean, if he doesn't end on... I'm pretty sure he can just end on a Auroradon. Or... Dangerous Gabu. Alright, that's the negator. That's a negator. But yeah, more than likely, you know, going to Halqifibrax, 0-1. I'm still surprised 0-1 is legal, considering that Auroradon is a thing. It's really weird. You know, Halqifibrax, he just bans all... you know, it's kind of a meme. He bans all the tuners. That boy bans all the tuners. It's a thing. It's a better thing. I'm surprised 0-1 has survived so long, considering. Alright, here we go. Never mind, he made the new thing. What does this do? Paid 600, level 3 Psychic in the deck, add to hand or side of the grave. Opponent activates card effect. In response to the activation of your P.U.N.K cards, while this card's in the grave, summon this card. Okay, it's not amazing. I mean, it's not amazing, Dragon. Certainly not a bad card, though. It's certainly decent. Add to hand or send to grave, and I believe he's giving this a boost. I believe he gets a boost. Oh, he can just summon out Amazing Dragon. Okay. Well, that makes things difficult. But also, not a problem. Because that doesn't count as a Synchro summon, although... This does have another effect. You know, let's see, what was the other effect of this thing again? Let's see. You target a P.U.N.K in your grave except for itself. Summon it. Okay. And he set a card. Ah, but he didn't use Amazing Dragon first. The fool. So, I'll take the damage. That's fine. Sathana goes off. I bring back my monk. And I get to pop the driver. So that'll stop any of that nonsense. I'm surprised he didn't use Amazing Dragon. Weird. Alright. Vishuda. Bounce it. Bounce it now. Alrighty, and that's pretty much gonna be game. I mean, he's got his trap, which can still negate me. But that's not gonna stop this, basically. So, I am pretty set. What do I still have in my graveyard? Adhara. Very, very tempting. But we're just going to go ahead and make Baron de Fleur here. And do the burn damage. And that'll be game right there. My opponent surrenders. He understands it's good, but he played a good game. He played a good game. He didn't even go for a Auroradon, so I'm even more impressed that he didn't just go for the easy out of Auroradon in Punks. But I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad he didn't, and we got to see some good P.U.N.K plays. So, there's good for duel number 2. Let's go ahead for just one more today. You know, a little low on time today, but let's go for one more duel, and we'll call it a day. Okay, one more duel. Let's go for broke. See something good. Alrighty, third and final opponent. I haven't even mentioned my name today. Earthworm Jim. You remember Earthworm Jim? Well, this is his cousin, because you can see we're Earthworm Jim. Yes, we're playing with those kinds of puns today. So, we're up against Dirk Majerks. We'll see. We will see. I know that Giant Soldier of Stone can take on Dart Magicians. A really bad Dart Magician player, or he just bricked like mad. One or the other. Let's see here. Let's go ahead for Ecclesia the Virtuous. It's Ecclesia the Virtuous. I hope that in some point in the future, Master Duel is going to put Spriggans into the solo mode. Because that's a big old story of itself. You think that World Chalice has a long-ass story? No. These guys have, like, this ridiculous story. This is part of so many different... Well, this one isn't. Incredible Ecclesia is not part of Swordsoul and them, but it is related to, like, Ecclesia, the Dogmatica, and all that. So, I hope at some point. Because, you know, some of the stories on Master Duel, interesting. Some of, like, let's see, what was it interesting? The Karakuri one I liked. I liked that one because it, like, it was the story of, you know, the Shogun makes the Karakuri monsters to fight in his wars, and then after the wars, the Karakuris take over, which is just hilarious. They make their own little society. It's pretty funny. And then you have, like, Dynamistas, which, you know, Dynamists, they're dinosaurs, run through steam power. And that is all you need to know. Alright, so, Soulful Servant, as I would expect. I'm really surprised. Dark Magicians are really consistent with, like, all the searching they do, and yet he just bricked so hard. Alright, let me think about this. I already have everything. I'm gonna go ahead and get a Blackout. That way I can banish this later for various things. And we'll go for Long Wand, ditching a Blackout. Be like, hello, here I am. Summon out the token. And let me think. Okay, we'll activate Vessel of the Dargon Cycle, sending a worm to the grave. In this case, we're going to send Vishuddha for later. And we're going to add ourselves an Ashuna. That way we'll have that set up. I could... can I OTK from here? Let me think about that. Bounce this. 32... I don't know if I can OTK necessarily. Not from here. Unfortunate. But it's not a big deal. I can certainly have things set up. So Ashuna, I have a non-effect monster. I can just summon out a Tenyi from the deck. And we'll go for Sathana here. Just to have Sathana ready and waiting. And actually, no, I'm going to do even better than that. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is make our big old boy. I just really like the combo of this boy and that boy. The big Sovereign and the Grand Master. And the burn damage. Yeah, probably... I need to see, my biggest weakness in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I'm not the fastest math wizard in the West. So that's 58, 30, 29. That's 100 points off. Actually, I might screw myself up doing this, but I'm going to give it a shot. So we're going to bounce Magician's Soul. Normal summon Long Wand. And if my math is correct, I believe that's an OTK. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Okay, that was an OTK. I didn't even think this deck could OTK, but lo and behold, it does. Granted, my opponent bricked himself to death, but we still OTK'd. So, much as I don't want to end today's episode, I kind of have to. You know, we got to see at least a bit of what this deck can do. We got to see the consistency. So much consistency. So let's go ahead into the end screen. We'll talk a little bit more about today's deck and what's coming next. Alrighty, everybody. Swordsoul Tenyis. Did 3 out of 3, you know. 3 out of 3, 3 wins, 0 loss. Pretty good. Pretty good showing. Our opponents were not able to counter our deck. We did have some decent opponents today. You know, better than yesterday with all those rage quitters. But... such things happen on EDO Pro from time to time, and Master Duel too. But we got to show off most of what this deck can do. We didn't really get to abuse Mari, but that's a side tech. More of a side tech. We got to summon out, you know, a decent number of our extra deck boys and girls. Didn't get to abuse the Yang Zins either, but again, that's a side thing. A lot of the extra deck here is side stuff other than, you know, our sword, not that guy. We got our Grandmaster and our other guy. Where is he? There he is. That spiky dude. Those two of those are our main dudes, extra deck-wise, and, you know, Berserker as well. And we got to show all that off. So I hope everybody took something out of this video on the Berserker Tenyis and the Swordsoul swinging Sword Souls, and, you know, you enjoyed it. That's all I want to know, if you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. It lets me know that you liked it. Comment in the comments if you liked it as well. I would appreciate that. I love the comments reading. I read all my comments. I do. I really do. And so, thank y'all again for watching today's video. Again, hit the like button if you liked it. Consider subscribing if you haven't and you're feeling the itch to do so. And tomorrow starts Villain Week, where we're dealing with we're dueling with decks from villains from Yu-Gi-Oh's every season. Every season Yu-Gi-Oh! One villain. Not going to tell you which villain. You'll have to find out for yourself. So, I'll see you guys again next time with more Yu-Gi-Oh! Action. Your boy, the Memphis XLR, signing out. Take care. Until next time.